Everybody, very special treat for you today. I'm here at the field station, Irvine, Southern California, Zone 10. This is March. March just started, and we're about to see a lot of really nice avocados. This is a germplasm, and some of the rarest and most diverse variety collection of avocados probably in most of the world. I can't think of another place that has more variety of collection, right, Eric? What do you think?
Well, I mean, we're what's the word for it? We certainly have a really large collection, especially for North America. There is material here that represents the UC Riverside breeding program, which goes back to the 1950s, 1960s. And so some of this material is only here.
Yeah.
We have around 300 plus different individuals, and we're constantly sort of updating and trying to get stuff into here.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
yeah.
We're here with Eric. He works here, and we're gonna look around a little bit, and we're gonna talk avocados. So let's go. Let's get started. Look at all these avocado trees.
Look for this Nowells down here.
Look at this. Eric has a really nice little iPad thing that keeps track of all the varieties that are here. So he knows exactly where each one is.
Well, with this I do. If I was on my own, this is a pretty big field.
Yeah. It
Very
just
complicated to plant.
Yeah. It rained. It's been raining hard the last few days. This ground is quite muddy. It's one of the first few clear days after a while. So we chose a good day to come out. Some of these avocado trees are low to the ground. Other ones are taller. Eric said they like to plant the taller ones and the bigger ones on the outside, and then the smaller ones that have smaller growth habit more to the center of the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just sort of to keep the wind and stuff out. The wind in this case comes off the hills there, so you know, that's where you get most of your wind damage from.
Yeah.
So let's see, got 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Here's Nowells.
This one?
Yeah,
Nowells avocado.
Nowells.
All right.
Okay. So
Here's some Nowells fruit. Supposed to be good. Supposed to be ready around now, January, February, March. Looks like a winter time kind of fruit. Looks pretty good. I've never had one though, but I hear great things. More Nowells fruit.
get it out from under the tree so it doesn't germinate.
Look at this, guys. Not even the field station is immune to squirrel attacks.
Oh, it's been a lot worse here than it used to be. It's like when the buildings over around here came in and all the landscaping trees showed up, it got a lot worse.
Yeah, there's a lot of real estate I've noticed going up around the field station now.
Yep.
A lot more housing and a lot more development happening around here. Yeah.
Cool.
Look at that hawk.
That's vulture, actually.
Oh, vulture.
Turkey vulture.
Do they like avocados?
I've seen them eat avocados.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
Really? Wow.
Pretty unusual, yeah.
So on the drive over here, we passed by a field of only rootstocks. Eric told me that there's a field of rootstock trees that they only are doing for testing for clonal rootstocks. And those trees were so interesting. They're all different sizes and shapes. Exactly what you would expect from planting seedlings. There were tall trees, small trees, squat trees of all different shapes and sizes. And what they're gonna do is test those as clonal rootstocks to see which ones perform best for different characteristics. Are you guys looking for anything maybe like a drought tolerant clonal rootstock?
Well, that is the rootstock program, which is headed by Patty Montesalvo in the plant pathology department.
Yeah.
So their focus before her was Greg Doohan and John Mengi, and then before him it was Zentmeyer. But basically their historical goal has been to generate Phytophthora root rot resistant material.
Yeah.
So it's been very successful at doing that.
Okay.
But the recent interest has been in dealing with high salinity water.
Oh,
and
okay.
so that is a new direction that
Interesting.
they're breeding for. So because it's actually something we've seen here at the field station.
Yeah.
Is that you know, we switched over to reclaimed water more than 5 years ago now, maybe 10 years ago. And the chlorides get up to, probably on average, when we were testing, they get around 100 parts per million, which is pretty high for avocado.
Right.
Make sure.
More avocado trees, young trees, a little bit older trees. Wow, look at this one. Look at this fruit. That's beautiful. So these look like they're not labeled. They're all in the database. They're not. They don't have tags on them.
That one's just got a
They're just
code name anyway.
Yeah.
Not actually
And look at this
named
one.
variety.
Wow, look at this fruit. I believe this looks like a nimble. Might be, but I might be wrong.
No.
Nice and round.
That's a Nowells seedling.
Oh, a Nowells seedling.
Yeah.
You know, the leaves kind of look like Nowells. So that makes sense.
A little bit, yeah. Definitely a thicker canopy though.
Yeah.
Not as open.
Yeah. And this tree here is the
This should be the Daily 11.
Daily 11. All right, here we are. Whoa, look at this fruit.
Oh, yeah, there's fruit on there.
Look at that monster. That's a
big one.
Daily 11, folks. Beautiful, massive fruit. Incredible. Look, it's a small tree. It's like 5 or 6 feet tall, about maybe 8 feet wide. But that fruit is so huge.
It'll get bigger. I mean, the tree can get to normal sizes, but
Yeah.
these were only planted in 2018, so.
2018.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-year-old tree in the ground. 4 or 5-year-old. And it's, oh, here's another one. Whoa.
Yeah, it's big fruit.
Oh my goodness. Have you eaten this fruit?
I've had it. It's been a while. I mean,
Yeah.
I find a lot of the big fruit is nice to look at, but it
Yeah.
doesn't always ripen evenly. But Daily 11 is one of those that people would tell me is pretty good.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you especially see it with a lot of, like, maybe more West Indian
Yeah.
genetic background that
Yeah.
they just don't do as well in California as they do in, say, South Africa or. Yeah, no, Daily 11, when I first started working, was definitely one of the larger
Yeah.
fruits consistently.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there was a while where not as big, definitely the longest fruit, but the queen seemed to have larger fruit at that time.
Queen, yeah.
Yeah, queen's another large one, and then the other one, Choquette, has
Choquette,
been
yep.
pretty consistent as well.
Yep. Wow, these are beautiful trees. Beautiful.
Yeah, so this field, like, this part of the field is on Dusa, which is a South African disease-resistant rootstock. But actually, Dusa seems to have some issues with, with the soil and the salty water here. So, but the other side of the field back there, we split it and put it on a salt-resistant rootstock.
Okay.
The idea was that we'd have copies of everything out here on different rootstocks, so that if the water was too salty or if there was a disease, either or, at least some of the material would survive.
Right.
You know? So the goal of this particular field is to have 4 copies of each tree and on 2 different rootstocks. So,
Okay.
so yeah, so this side of the field actually is a little more rugged looking than the other side because of the salt. And you can see the tip burn in some of the leaves here. You don't tend to see it as much on the other side. That rootstock.
And that's because of the rootstock.
Rootstock's able to handle that salt a little better.
Yeah. You can tell these are all different varieties because if you look closely, the tree growth habit, the structure, the leaf shape and size is all a little bit different. Some flowering going on.
I remember it being a kind of greenskin, kind of necky fruit.
John or Hurd, they call it here. John Hurd.
Yeah, John Hurd was the name of the guy, I guess, whose house it was growing at.
Ah, yeah.
But he told Julie Frink used to be a volunteer here.
Yeah.
And she collected it, and she said that he said just to call it Hurd. So that's
what the
saves
fruit
us
looks
a
like.
little bit of ink on the wolf sheets.
I think the steak fell over. But...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been wet and windy.
Oh yeah.
So we saw this in Riverside too. There's some issues
Yeah.
with
There's more Hurd fruit. I'm an enthusiast, a hobbyist. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
I have all sorts of fruit trees, but I love avocados, and I try to emphasize avocados more than most others.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it is certainly a unique fruit. You know?
Yeah, well, I think we're blessed to be able to grow them out here. So why not grow as many as you can?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's a nice tree.
That's the Linda, I think.
This is Linda?
Get that red flush on it. Let me just double check that we are tree 7. This is tree 7. This is Linda.
Oh, well, it stood out.
You've got a good eye.
That is a nice tree. I don't know too much about this variety, but I hear it's quite good.
As I recall, it's
Pretty good looking tree.
greenskin fruit, although I don't really see any on here right now.
Nice leaves. Okay, there it is, guys. Linda avocado. Oh shoot, it came off.
Came off?
Yeah, the wood, you see? The wood
Oh
was
yeah, that was
discoloring,
pretty.
and there was an avocado
Yep,
attached to it.
Big greenskin. That is a Guatemalan type, I guess.
Linda avocado, people. Beautiful. I think Linda means pretty in Spanish, and
It does.
and
As well as being somebody's name,
Yeah.
but yeah.
definitely applies to this tree, I think. And this fruit. Look at that.
Yeah, generally that red flush on the leaves is considered to be a Guatemalan tree.
Yeah. It's really nice and calm and peaceful out here. It's a very tranquil environment.
When the weather's nice, it is.
Yeah. I can see why Eric likes his job.
Nothing wrong with coming out and working.
There's nothing wrong with hanging out, working with avocados. There's different varieties over there. Look at that one. A lot of fruit on this tree. The tree is looking like it's kind of having a hard time, but
Yeah, that one looks like it's struggling.
yeah. This is a nice looking tree right here. Nice fat leaves. And here's some fruit. Pretty cool. Do you know something about that?
Well, I mean, it's one that we rescued. There's a lot of old fields around here, actually,
Okay.
that Zentmeyer brought up from his collections down in Central America and Mexico. And so that was one where the old trees over here, they're on seedling rootstock or whatever. And like I said, we're on salt water now. The salinity's high and a lot of them are struggling. So that field, the trees were from the 1960s, 1970s, very old trees, and they were starting to decline. So I saved some budwood off of that, and I got it propagated. But I only got one, so I got to get that one. Once it gets going, we got to make 3 more copies out here, you know.
Persea floccosa. It doesn't make fruit.
It does. So the thing about avocado taxonomy, back when they brought the Floccosa up, there was this idea that the Persea is the genus, and there's all these different species. Persea Americana,
Right.
avocado, and that's the current understanding, the current taxonomy.
Uh-huh.
But it used to be that all of these various ecotypes and subspecies, like the Mexican type, were called Persea germifolia. The Guatemalan one, well, they either called them Persea nubigena or Persea guatemalensis, and so Persea Floccosa was one of those as well. There's other ones also, like I'm drawing a blank, but there's other Persea types. Oh, I mean, like Persea nubigena, for example.
Uh-huh.
That is still, we keep that separate, but it's basically, they're all Persea Americana. These are just different subspecies. You know, in some cases, I suppose you could use the term like land race, but ecotype is probably a better, or subspecies is probably a better term. But so Persea Floccosa was considered a separate species, but now it's considered a Persea Americana. So it's just a wild avocado.
Huh, interesting.
The origin of that particular one is, I'm still not sure. I've been going through the literature, but you know, everybody that brought it up is gone now. And so, but I believe that is from actually Mexico.
Okay.
And so Dr. Berg brought it into the program. From my understanding, he brought it in because it was a prolific bearer.
Oh,
It had a
interesting.
consistent crop every year.
Interesting.
And he wanted to bring those genetics into the Scion breeding program.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Can we see the tree?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, look at this tree. Beautiful tree. Look at this. Look at all the fruit on it. What variety is this?
That's Balboa.
Balboa?
Yeah, it's from Balboa Island or Balboa Park or whatever.
Balboa, interesting.
Yeah.
Turns black like a hat.
Yeah, it's a big black round fruit.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried that one.
Balboa, interesting.
Here's our Persea Floccosa.
That's Persea Floccosa, people.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a close relative.
Well, it's an avocado.
Yeah.
It's in the avocado, we call it a species complex, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty simple species complex in some ways.
I think you mentioned earlier it's kind of like a land race almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Looks a lot just
but
like an
this-
avocado.
Yeah, this the pictures I've seen of this variety and what I've seen of the ones here is it tends to have a really thin neck.
Mm-hmm.
Almost looks like a little drop, you know, and it has a round fruit. Big seed too.
Big
so,
seed.
But the reason that Dr. Berg was interested in it was, like I said, it had a lot of fruit every year,
lot of
and
fruit,
like
yeah.
he was trying to improve on Fuerte, which tends to alternate bear. So yeah, you can see it's very different from most of the riverside germplasm. We don't tend to have this very red, kind of furry, tomentous buds. That's, you know, you see that in some of the rootstock stuff, and then some of the older varieties. But like, you know, if you're looking at a lot of our material, which, you know, comes out of Hass and other ones, you don't tend to see this so much. So, you know, that's kind of unusual.
Yeah.
Very kind of furry, kind of fuzzy, basically budwood, for lack of a better term. The shoots, see how fuzzy that is? You can
Oh,
feel
yeah.
it.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. There's some, like, I think we have some seedling rootstock. I think it's G6, and a lot of it tends to sort of look like this as well.
Wow.
But it's not common for most of what we have been selecting for. Oh, it's kind of cool to see this, you know.
It is cool, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good stuff.
Yeah.
On a mound. Look at this mound of mulch. This is mulch, right?
There was this mulch on top. We tried to put them on berms so that you can increase the drainage. The roots like it a little better, and so we put them on berms. I think the tallest we were able to get them to go here with the equipment they had was around 18 inches.
Yeah.
And then we put mulch on top of the berms. You know.
Interesting.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, avocados, like mulch, they get large enough like this, and they mulch themselves with their leaves.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Another nice tree here. Nice leaves, dense, beautiful tree. I don't see any, no fruit.
Okay, yeah, this is Hellen.
This one is Hellen?
Yeah.
Oh, the Hellen.
Yeah.
Nice to see a Hellen tree.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I have a graft of Hellen on one of my
good.
trees. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see that some of them are better adapted, or
Yeah, definitely.
you know, than others.
Yeah.
And
This
then in
one's
some
flower.
cases, yeah, when they're fully flowering like that, naturally they tend to lose
Yeah.
some leaves as well. Wow. Across there,
Yeah.
over here. So, so these are super old. They haven't been watered in forever. But we do know that there is some sun blotch that got into some of these rows. We batch tested them, and we got positive results out of, like, I think this row and the one over there. So what we've been doing is basically chainsawing them back and getting them to the other side instead of flowering. We don't want the pollen to get if they're virus positive.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an old windrow, so
Yeah.
there's some over there that are, see, well, straight ahead?
Yeah.
That's avocados across the street. That's one of the old windrows. So
Okay.
all of these ones on the
Yeah.
station used to be big like that.
What are those trees over there?
Along the dying ones far away, or the ones close?
The far away.
Oh, those. That is one of our fields.
Oh, okay.
That is our elite selection, and actually, I think if you came back again, it might be something you'd be interested in seeing. It's so with our breeding program, there's sort of 3 phases to it. You know, you plant all your initial seed out. That's phase 1.
Yeah.
You make your selections, take the best stuff, and then you put it in another field and evaluate it more. That's tier 2, phase 2. And then the final one before release would be that, which is like you have regional trials. So we have one here, we have one at a station up north. We originally had 4, but a fire burned one out, and then the other one, the cooperator, changed ownership or management. You know, so.
Okay.
But the idea is that would be a regional trial. So we take the material that we feel the best about, and we plan it out with Hass as a control or whatever, and see how it does in different environments in a sort of like semi-production type setting. And if it does well, then that is a variety that we would patent and release.
Okay.
So that's the sort of final phase before you think about releasing material.
Wow.
Yeah. So currently, I mean, we've got about eight for new varieties in that group that are like, okay, these might be ready for release, and we're trying to release one of them. The paperwork's being filed right now on that. Perhaps next year, the year after, we release another 1 or 2.
Can you talk about it? You know, the name or the
Well,
characteristics or what it's like or what it tastes like and all that? Or is that not?
Not at the moment. It's been a little complicated. One of the things is that, for example, the name Marvel, we can't use that anymore because Disney owns Marvel Cinematic Universe. And
interesting.
people are a little uncomfortable going head to head with their legal team.
Right.
So,
Understood.
but that is to be released hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
That variety. And then some of the other ones, they just have different traits that are good. Like 2 of the others are, well, 3 of them, but 2 of the more advanced ones are definitely earlier than Hass.
Okay.
But they're Hass-like, kind of turned dark or, similar size. We have one that it's the season's over now, but it's super early. My boss just calls it early green, which is a
Early green.
descriptive name. It's a green-skinned early fruit, but it is really good. It's like a very creamy fuerte.
Wow.
Amazing taste.
Interesting.
So, you know, we have just kind of a range of stuff there. Here, I'm just going to pull up over here.
Okay.
And, you know, yeah. And then also A flower type, B flower type. You know.
Right.
Try to have a little bit of each. I mean, obviously, if something...